Okay, we finally reach the last step of PASS, the third one. It's the page where we define the impact of our project. To do so, we have a familiar already user form where you can select the department. Let's start with the outpatient, and you have in this form basically two frames. One is related to inpatient department, and one is non-inpatient, and that's our case. In particular, it's an outpatient. So here we have a default value of number of visits per day. Of course, we can insert our own choice. There was already a 120. Let's say that we are more ambitious and we want to have a volume of visit of 180 per day. As always, you save the data, and PASS will compute the number of visits in a year based on this indication. There is also the feature of, for example, defining a volume of activity per the sterilization or any other department. Of course, we don't have to fill the inpatient area, but the, let's say, non-inpatient group of department. For this case, there is no default value. It's completely up to you to insert these numbers or not, and it's also up to you to think of a sound and reasonable unit of measure. So, for example, in this case, it might be the number of sterilization cycle that you are performing in your sterilization facility. So, I don't know, let's say that we make 10 cycles, well, it's a little bit too much, 5 cycle, well, it's also a lot, but anyway, doesn't matter, 5 cycle a day. So there is this opportunity to describe in some kind of with some kind of indicators the activities of every single department. Here, for example, for the laboratory, you can imagine the number of certain specific test that you perform, and here you say you have a default of 45, and we consider an activity of 60 in this case. We are fine with that, and we exit. Actually, let's go back to the form for a second, and I want you to focus a little bit on more on these two parameters. Right now, we can't select any department because we don't have in our facility, the facility that we are using as an example, it's an outpatient service. There is no inpatient bed. If you design a facility having an inpatient, whatever kind of department, you are then allowed to tell PASS what are the expected bed occupancy rate and average length of stay. These two parameters are very important because together with the number of beds, they allow you to have an estimate of how many patients you will treat in a year. Of course, it's only an estimate, but it can be useful to set objectives and also to project these objectives into the health survey that we perform at the very beginning of this process. And to see that, let's just exit. Once the routine is over, you will see the results already in this chart. What is interesting is that this chart is using the indicator that we created at the end of the first step, so the one describing the health system, and it's plotting on the same indicator the impacts that we are achieving with our facility. So, for example, you can see here this red bar. It's the increase in number of core health workforce. This one is the increase in outpatient visits. There is also an increase of one single unit in the number of facilities. And in this specific case, there is no increase in the other indicators because we are making only an outpatient service, so there is no bed and there is no hospital discharge. You can see this number in this prospect here. So you have the indicators, the impact of the project, a recap of the results from the survey, the cumulative, so the sum, and how these numbers are transformed in scored according to the target level that we are using. If you click this button, you see the department that are composing our facility, and for each of them the service activity, the volume that we foreseen. There is also an indication here about the availability of the service, so counted in how many days per year that service is supposed to be open. And for this page is about it. Goodbye.